allegiance to the spiritual leader of the country can result in a protracted jail term. Hundreds of Tibetan monks, nuns, and lay people are serving prison terms for flying Tibetan flags, for daring to voice their desire for a free Tibet in public, or for supporting the Dalai Lama publicly or privately. In modern-day Tibet, free speech is criminalized. Tibetans can be handed prison terms of 15 years or more by Chinese Communist Party officials for broadcasting their views on websites or speaking out to foreigners about their country on the telephone or in email. Just downloading songs about the Dalai Lama on the internet can result in a jail term. Despite exploding economic and military growth in China, the Communist Party fears separatism and revolt in Tibet, which forms 1/4 of China's landmass, as it attempts to consolidate control and assimilate the country into China. Today, Tibetan cities are being flooded with Han Chinese migrants who are rapidly outnumbering Tibetans, leaving them undereducated with ever-dwindling long-term opportunities. Lhasa, once the Forbidden City, is now fast becoming a booming Chinese capital city replete with karaoke bars, brothels, five-star hotels, and luxury car dealerships. The Chinese call Tibet Xizang, meaning Western Treasure House. The exploitation of the natural resources of Tibet is underway. Within the plateau lie 40 million tons of copper, 40 million tons of lead and zinc, and more than 1 billion tons of iron. Tibetan copper alone amounts to 1/3 of China's reserves. Mining revenue from Tibet will top $1.5 billion in the coming years. The once indomitable peaks of the Himalaya, which have long served to isolate Tibet from its neighbors, have meanwhile become the ultimate test for serious Western mountain climbers. Each year, increasing numbers seek glory and an escape from the drudgery of their lives, an answer to life's eternal riddle in the world's highest mountain range. Roughly 2,500 Tibetans flee their country annually in a brutal journey over the Himalaya. Some are escaping for a new life in India. All want to meet their exiled spiritual leader, the Dalai Lama. A note on geography. Tibet traditionally comprised 3 main regions: Amdo, northeastern Tibet; Kham, eastern Tibet; and Utsang, central and western Tibet. In 1965, the Chinese government established the Tibetan Autonomous Region, TAR. It includes Tibet west of the Yangtze River and part of Kham. The rest of Amdo and Kham were incorporated into Chinese provinces. These areas, where there is a dense Tibetan population, are designated as Tibetan Autonomous Prefectures and Tibetan Autonomous Counties. Chinese authorities still regard most of Qinghai and parts of Gansu, Sichuan, and Yunnan provinces as Tibetan. Chapter 1. Songs to the Precious One. This core of the earth, this heart of the world, fenced round by snow, the headland of all rivers, where the mountains are high and the land is pure, a country so good, where men are born as sages and heroes, and act according to good laws, a land of horses even more speedy. From a 9th century document describing Tibet. The scouring winds howled in from the plateau. Just above the insistent moaning of the unstoppable gust through the cracks of the spruce door, she heard it again. A rapping, and then, faintly, beyond the thick mud wall of the house, voices. Dolma Palki's eyes snapped open, and a familiar knotted sense of dread rose in her throat. At 10:30 p.m., an unannounced visit in Chinese-occupied Tibet meant trouble. The one-room house was thick with the cloying smoke of yak dung fire. A single guttering yak butter candle lit the room. 8-year-old Dolma, who had raven black hair and piercing almond eyes set above broad cheekbones, was lying motionless under a yak hide. Her mother, Nyima, moved quickly in the darkness. The family was used to these intrusions. Sometimes the men from the Public Security Bureau, PSB, left the rural Tibetans alone. Other times they summarily detained men, women, and children. Nyima slid out of bed and blew out the candle. The knocking on the door intensified. "Don't move."